So welcome to class. Let us begin seated on your block, if that's the way that you feel more comfortable, on the floor. So we're now coming really to the end of this autumn energy as we start to transition into the winter energy. So this will be the last sort of autumn only class as we start that transition. Okay, so closing the eyes and bringing the hands onto the knees, so the palms onto the knees, and lengthen the spine, gently straighten the arms, not too stiff, but straighten the arms. But feel as though your shoulder blades are smoothing down towards your waist. So you feel that lengthening in the neck. So let's tune into the breath, and I just want a few long out breaths to just soften everything in your body. Just soften, soften, soften. Use the out breath as that release of any tension, any tightness, any restriction. Now I'd like you to come into your Ujjayi breath. So where we slightly restrict the windpipe, we can sort of hear the air on the back of our throat into our windpipe. And as we get that breath going, we're also bringing the breath down into the belly, to the lower ribs. Ujjayi breath is in and out through the nose. Like you're trying to hurl into a mirror to mist it up, but with the mouth closed. And I want to really concentrate on the breath, but also on the sound within the upper part of your body. So again, we're bringing the mind to one thing, or maybe two, within the Ujjayi breath. As soon as you restrict that windpipe, the breath slows down. So you can use this breath absolutely anywhere when you can just feel yourself getting a bit uptight, rushing, especially as we move closer to Christmas. Just turn into that Ujjayi breath. So if you wish, you can keep doing the Ujjayi breath, and we're going to massage into the lung, neurolymphatic points. We're going to take the fingers, we're going to spread them wide on either side of the sternum. You're going to come in between the ribs and start to massage up and down. If you feel anywhere that's tender, then do stay there for a few more moments. You can keep that breath going if you wish as you massage these lung neurolymphatic lymphatic points up and down either side of your sternum. Okay, so just shake the fingers off. Now we know the lungs and the large intestines are the organs we support. So we're going to take our hands into fists, and with the knuckles, you're going to massage up and down the outside of your thighs. This is your large intestine lymphatic reflex points. Sort of where your C would naturally be. Again, if you find a sore spot, then stay there for an extra moment, just up and down. And keeping that breath going if you wish. So all the time, it's just releasing your body of stress. Okay, and now we're going to shake off the fingers again and slowly open the eyes. Now you can keep the Ujjayi breath going through the whole of your practice or dip in and out of it. It's entirely up to you. So let's bring a twist in, because that's always good for the intestines. So hands to the heart. On your in-breath, take the arms out to the side and lift them up. And turn to your left. Bring the opposite hand to the knee and the other one into the small of your back. Look around. We're going to go with the breath today. So the in-breath, you bring your body back and bring the arms up. And the out-breath, you twist to the other side. So hand to the opposite knee, other hand in the small of your back, and into that twist. So the Ujjayi breath would have set up a nice slow breath. So this should also stay nice and slow. So just go with your breath, not mine. Keep going up to the sneeze, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Maybe the arms are getting a little bit higher as you come in a little bit deeper as the body opens up. So wherever you are, just do one more round. We may well be out of sync with my sneeze. And then bring the hands back to the prayer position at the end. Okay. Let us come off our block if we're on one. We're going to keep the legs like this. I'm just going to come forward a little bit. So the emotions that we've been working through in the autumn are grief and letting go. And when we let that go, all the joy comes back in. So we're going to just work on opening this heart for the next one. So just bring the hands behind you. Don't have them too close in because that'll be uncomfortable for your shoulders. And we're going to eventually come up onto these shins. Okay, so a gentle tuck of the chin. As we push the weight forward onto those shins, we're going to lift the hips, lift the chest, open the heart, and take the shoulder blades into each other. Don't drop the head back, but it just sort of moves up in line with your spine. Breathing here, so you're just lifting. As you come down, tuck the chin, because the head's really quite heavy. And then we're going to do one more. And then we're going to shift the legs. So up we go. Because you're opening through that heart space. Tuck the chin and come down. And then we're going to switch the legs. So the foot closest to the body becomes the foot furthest away. Okay. So just get comfortable again. Take those hands behind. The fingers sort of want to be pointing backwards. Tuck the chin. Push the weight forward onto those shins. Lift the hips. Lift the chest. Tuck the shoulder blades together. Just sort of look to the ceiling, really. Slowly come down, tuck the chin as you come down. And then one more. If it hurts your wrists, then, just do one on each side. Okay, up we come. Just feel the whole that front body opening up. Just get to where you can get to. And again, tuck the chin as we come down. And gently release. So bring the palms together. And then we're going to come to the back of the hands, bring the palms back together, back of the hands the other direction. So just freeing up these wrists. Okay, so just a few of those, moving the arms to wherever they need to go so that you can access finding the back of the hands. Lovely. Last one. Okay. Let us come round onto all fours. We're going to have the tops of the toes on the floor. We're going to have the wrists underneath the shoulders. Nice long spine, just look into your mat. We're going to come into a twist again for these, for the large intestine. So on an in-breath, the left arm is going to rotate upwards. You can follow the hand with the eyes. And on the out-breath, this hand's going to come all the way through, threading through that shoulder and the temple, coming as close to the floor as possible on your out-breath. We're going to do 5. So on the in-breath, we open up. And on the out-breath, we close down. Also good for the lungs, this one, isn't it? Because of that big opening and then that big squeeze. So again, if you wish, come back into your Ujjayi breath. And then when you're finished, switch around. I'll have to turn because I'm against the wall here. So watch the arm as you open that heart space again, and then through we come nice and low. Okay, last one for me. Turn around again. From here, we're going to tuck the toes. Now be careful if you've got any arthritis in those toes. And as we lean back, we're going to start to move them. So widen them out as we bring the weight back. Then we're going to come up into a balance. So just come back, lift the knees. We're going to need a squat in a minute. So let's just start in this position. So just the hands onto the thighs and lengthen the spine. Find your focus. Bobbing around is always good, but we're just going to let the knees get used to this, the toes. And finding that balance. Okay, come forward again. Find your block. Bring it under your heels. So we're going to do our 5-element flow. And the reason I'm doing that today is because we're sort of at the end of this autumn energy. And every time we do that shift over, I like to do all of the elements and just check that we're balanced in all of them in our body. Okay, so this one is actually for the winter, so we're going to be coming into this very, very soon. So we're going to hug those knees. This is blowing out the candle. So we're going to release the fear. Okay, so on your in-breath, lift the head. Blow your candle out, release the fear. We'll do 3. One more. Okay. So weight forward, release that block from your heels. And then we're going to bring the feet to the floor. Keep the knees bent. We're going to widen those feet, so heel toe out a little bit. I'll come forward a bit more. And this one is expelling the venom. So this is our spring. And we're going to release the anger. So we're going to imagine that the anger in our bodies is on the floor, and we're going to pick it all up. And the sound is shh as we come back down on that out breath. So on the in breath, bring the arms up. Throw all the anger away as you come down to shh. Right, let's grab that anger that we stored. Don't need to know what it is. I'm sure we've all got a little bit there somewhere. And on your in breath, arms up. Come on, let's really let it go. And one more. Picking up any anger, past or present, in breath. Push through the feet, up we come with the arms. And down we go. We're going to trace up the spleen meridian, so outsides of the big toes to the ankle, inside the lower leg to the kneecaps, up the thighs, leave the body, and we're just going to come up around the shoulders and end up in the spleen underneath the arms. You can tap or you can massage. Okay, so the next one is the summer element, bringing down the flame, which is releasing the anxiety. So the sound is in the hands to the heart. On your in-breath, take the arms out. Thumbs to the crown for a then all anxiety go. In-breath, arms out. To the third eye. To the heart. In-breath. And the belly button. First fingers together, like a triangle over the belly, 3 breaths here. Last out breath, smooth down the legs and off the toes. Draw up that spleen meridian again. And ending up underneath the arms. So the next one is cradling the baby. So one hand under the arm, the other hand just above the other elbow. We're going to close the eyes, going to tune back into that Ujjayi breath, and we're going to just rock ourselves, giving ourselves a hug from side to side, releasing over compassion to others, bringing back that balance between others and ourselves. And we come to a stop, and on an in-breath, we take the arms above the head and we look and we draw in what we want. And on the out-breath, we just come down those legs again and off the toes. And then we draw up that spleen meridian again. Ending up under the arms. And then we're all the way back to the autumn, to the human touching divine, and releasing all the grief. So hands are here, and the sound is that where we make that ball shape. So on the in-breath, take the arms out to the side. Hands in front of the belly. Releasing the great in-breath, arms a little bit further up to the heart. Arms all the way up. Palms of the crown of the head. And then across the hands to the heart. Close the eyes or leave them open. 3 breaths here. You're going to smooth down on that last out breath off the toes. And let's come up the spleen meridian for the last time. And end up under the arms. So all those 5 elements, bring those back into balance. Lovely. And shake off the fingers. Right, let's bring some movement in then. So to the front of our mats. Feet hip width apart. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift the toes. Take the little toes into the floor. So outwardly rotate the feet. And then see if you can widen the toes as they come back down to the floor. So we've been in that balance, so we have woken them up a bit. Just see what happens. You can have a look, see what effect you've had. And I always find one set of toes are wider than the other. That's just because the muscles are probably tighter on the other side. Okay. So roll the shoulders back again, fingertips down to the floor, but feel as if the spine and the crown of the head are moving up. This is your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Now let's move. So on your in-breath, take the arms out to the side, look up, stretch up. Our figure of 8 Celtic weave as we come into our forward bend. Just be aware you can bend the knees. And your in-breath, half forward bend, hands up behind the knees and lift the chest. Let's right leg into a plank. Fingers lovely and wide as you come into this, okay? Tuck in the belly button. We're going to come onto the knees. Leave the right hand there and bring the left hand across your mat. Forehead onto that and scoot the right arm forward, take the tailbone up. Bring that chest, your heart, as we're opening that up towards the earth, together with your opening through the armpit. The toes tucked under, if that's all right for them. Come back, enjoy Ujjayi breath maybe, and just get the body to let go into that space. All right, let's take this right hand and draw it back in to push up. We're not going to do the other side quite yet. We're going to come into a downward facing dog. So in we come, one heel to the floor and then the other, just checking in with the back of those legs. I haven't specifically done any work on them. One heel to the floor and then the other. Come fully into your downward facing dog. So tailbone up, belly towards the thighs. The fingers are lovely and wide. So are the shoulders. The head's relaxed and so is that face. Just feel into the strength. Feel where you've come from the first time you ever got into this position to now. The difference. I'm sure you can feel. Right, we're going to do a little bunny hop to the front of our mat. So bend the knees, look to where you want to end up. Tuck the belly, forward we go. And then a half forward bend. So draw the hands up the back of the knees, lift the chest. And your out breath into a forward bend. Bend the knees or straighten them. Entirely okay. Now we're going to bend the knees. In breath, take the arms out to the side, look up, stretch up. We're going to end up with the hands down beside the body where we started. So I need to come a bit further forward because my bunny hops are. Don't take me quite to the front of my mat. So roll the shoulders back again, fingertips down. Lift the toes, go on to the outside of the little toes and see if we can widen them a bit more this time. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Okay, let's go again. In breath, take the arms up, look up, stretch. Celtic weave into a forward bend, maybe a natural Ujjayi breath now. Wouldn't that be lovely? In breath, half forward bend. Out breath, left leg leads into your plank, and let's just hold that for a sec, just so we can still feel the strength in our body. You can activate the legs, really wrap the muscles around the bones. Now we're going to come onto our knees again. Put the left hand forward, right arm across, come into that stretch as we did on the other side. And now in the front of the body to relax to the floor, tailbone up. So we have this curve in the spine. Bring that left hand back just to help us push through and come back up onto all fours and into your downward facing dog once more. If you feel you need to bring the heels down one at a time again, then please do. And then fully back into your downward facing dog again. Tailbone up, belly towards the thighs. Feel wide through that upper body. All right, let's take the left leg behind us. And we're going to bring the weight over to the right half of our body. So really feel into the right half of your body. Shift the weight over. You may need to stretch that arm a little bit more, that right arm. And from here, just see if you can lift the left hand off the floor. Just off the floor as you bring all the weight over to the right side. If you feel you can, we've done this before, but not recently. Tuck in that belly so you feel really anchored in, and then see if we can bring that left hand in line with that left leg. Otherwise, just keep lifting the hand off the floor so you feel as though, the weight is all on that right side. Okay, if the wrists don't like it, then do come down for a rest. Okay. From here, bring that hand, bring the foot down, just into a child's. Keep the toes tucked though, as you bring the foot, the bottom onto the heels. And have the arms where it feels comfortable. If you want to work through the wrists, if they're feeling a bit stiff, please do. And in a moment, we'll switch ourselves to the other side. Okay, so let's return to all fours and then downward facing dog. We're going to try this other side. So, the tuck of the belly, right leg up, weight to the left side of our body. Just see, anchor in there. We don't even have to bring that right hand off the floor if we don't. Just practice. Just, momentarily, or even get onto your fingertips. Doesn't matter, even if you can move the hand away in any direction so there's more weight on this left side. And then if your body's got that memory of when we did this before, the right hand may even get to the leg. Get that Ujjayi breath going because that'll be really important here. Just play with it. Just play with it. Okay, hand and foot to the floor. Come back down into a child's pose, but keep those toes tucked under if that's all right for your toes. And again, if you want, just work through your wrists. If you want to get the body used to that balance, you can do it against the wall. So you sort of just lean into the wall, and that will start to get that muscle memory into that specified side of the body. Never feel afraid to use some props. Okay, so back onto all fours, and we're going to come back into that balance on our toes. All right, so bring all the weight onto the toes again, and again, spread them out, because that's really helpful when you start trying to do that front of your mat. Okay, hands onto the thighs again, nice long spine. So coming in a second time can often help us to feel a bit more secure in what we're doing. And from here, we're going to bring the arms above the head, just gently, and see if we can get any kind of sway going on. Excuse me, I'm at the side. Turn myself, couldn't I? Just get some kind of sway so the body starts to work a little bit harder. Feel like when we do the, the tree, and we just start to go a little bit off piste with it, and we start to just move randomly. You can see how much harder the body is working. It's always experiment with these poses. See where you can take yourself. Okay, bring the hands back down to the thighs. I'm going to shoot myself around, and then all back onto all fours. And a downward facing dog, and then we're going to do that bunny hop again. I'll see if I can get a bit further this time. So bend the knees, look where you want to go. Tuck the belly. No, that seems to be my limit. And a half forward bend. Lift the chest. And an out breath, full forward bend. Bend the knees. We're just going to unroll to stand, okay? So tuck the belly as we push through the feet. Right, we're going to bring the leg back. That brings you to the long edge of your mat. So it's going to be my left leg. It might not be that for you. So hands cross at your heart. On your in-breath, take that relevant knee up. And on the out-breath, a big step back. Let's turn. Tuck the toes. Check in that they're in alignment. So my back foot's got to come forward. Okay. And if you want to heel toe out, because this might be easier to go wider than when you step back. Let's come down for a forward bend. So in breath, lift the chest. And your out breath. There's always a tuck of the belly to help you down. Spine stays long. Down we come. Look behind. Focus on relaxing the face for a moment. Tailbone up. Balanced on the front and the back of the feet. I want you to bring your thumbs on the inside of your top of your shins, and we're going to massage down the shins, the inside of the shins. And if you feel a tender spot, I would stay there and just give that a little bit more love and attention. Until you get down as far as you can go, or one palm width away from your ankles, and then you're going to stay there. This is where some meridians cross over, meet up for a chat. And then from here, if there's anything left in your body, you can tuck the belly and lift your chest, but keep your face looking towards the floor. So everything's very long, very open. We're just giving space for the massage to do its work as we release that blocked energy around everywhere it wants to go. Let's drop the head back down, bending the elbows. Let's bring the fingertips underneath your head on the floor. Lift the chest again, and then we're going to walk the fingers out as far as we can possibly get without falling over. You can come onto your palms, just keep going. I've probably gone out of the picture. You can just see my bottom. And just stretch forward as far as you can. Really get to your limit. The toes have really been warmed up, so you should be able to get on your toes and come as far forward as you can. Good brace throughout the body. And then gently bring the hands back. And from here, we're going to take the toes out and the heels in. The knees will naturally bend. We're going to bring the hands onto the thighs. The chin's going to tuck, and we're going to in-breath, push through the feet and come up. Keep the knees bent if you can. Okay, so we haven't done our wake up, so I'd like to just get the energies moving across for us. So we're going to in-breath here. Take your left shoulder on your out-breath to the right knee. Look behind. And then in-breath and come back up. So keep the tailbone as low to the floor as you can. And then come across. Just getting the energies moving across. And do it with your breath. All right, let's do one more complete round. And then straighten the legs, dangle the arms, and give these thighs a bit of a shake out. Because they will appreciate that. Super. Okay, so we're going to take the toes closest to the front of your mat and face them towards the front, triangle legs, back toes pop in. But the hips stay towards the long edge of your mat. Okay, so your in-breath, take the arms out. Lift over the front ribs, down we go, triangle. Just smooth down your wall. Again, get the thumb on the inside of the thigh, no, chin, and gently massage down. I seem to have a bit of a tender bit there. And then when you're as far as you wish to go, then just hold that point. Remember not to let this shoulder come forward, and we're going to flick the top fingers while we're here. And flick them all together twice. While this bottom hand is attached to your leg, the top arm is going to do lots of figure of eights. Wherever you can get to that feels safe, just remember that the body's going to just feel a little bit unbalanced. Let's bring some figure of eights in. I would say this time of year, just building up a bit of a force field around us when everyone wants so much from us and we've got lots to do. Let's just bring in that force field so that we can stay in our own energy and in our own power. All right, bring the arm back up. Fabulous. From here, make sure you push through your feet, tuck the belly as you in-breath, come up. Let's heel to the feet to the other side, so back of your mat. Your next in-breath here. Shoot over the ribs, palms face forward, down we come. Okay, tuck that thumb in. As uncomfortable as it is, it's just releasing any blockages. And just work your way down the inside of the shin. You can really feel it. You don't think there's any kind of pain in the body until you start to go a little bit deeper. So stop when you've got to your max, and then the top fingers, we're going to flick each of them once, and then all of them together twice. And then again, this figure of eight. Giving us some protection from all the madness, all the busyness, all the uncertainty. Whatever your figure of eights look like, they'll all be gorgeous. And then bring the arm back up when you're ready. On your next in-breath, push through the feet, come all the way up. We're going to turn to the front of the mat again, so heel toe. But this time we're going to bring the hips to face forward. Okay, so the arms are going to come across the chest. Heel toe this front foot out a little bit, so the hips will come round and that back foot, the heel will go out. Okay, forward bend here, so make sure you've got enough space in your hips. So in-breath, lift the chest up. And on your out-breath, you're always lengthening the spine and coming down as straight as you can until the lower back starts to round. Now, we're going to take the hands, interlace them behind our back. We're going to roll the shoulders back, take the knuckles behind us, and then take the arms over the head. Always remember you can use your belt if you've got one. So the front hip pushes back and the back hip sort of pushes forward, and that just gently squares you up. You can always bend the front knee. Just, work with your own body because we're all different. Get that Ujjayi breath back in. The magic is so much in that out breath. So to come out, we're going to in-breath, push through the feet, and we naturally bring the hands into the small of the back. So here we're going to heel toe round to the back. Take that front foot out to the long edge of your mat. The hips will then swing around. If you want to alternate interlace the fingers, you can do that here. Roll the shoulders back, knuckles down, lift the chest. We're going to go over this time with the arms. Off we go. Maybe look towards your back toe if you're there. I don't know if you can hear my Ujjayi breath. Again, on in-breath, push through your feet, bring yourself up. The arms will just come down into your lower back. Keep hold as you heel toe back to the front of your mat. Bring the back foot to the front. On your in-breath, release the hands, take the arms up, look up, stretching. A Celtic weave, out breath, forward bend. In-breath, half forward bend. You may wish to jump or take the right leg back into your plank. Knees, hips, chin, keep the elbows in and come all the way down. Triple warmer hip rock, so palm, palm, forehead, rock the hips. Release that back. Relax the hips. Rock a little bit longer. Okay, come to a stop. We're going to bend the knees here. Keep the forehead where it is if that feels comfortable. Bend the knees. This is another way to cross your energies over the body. We're going to take the legs out to either side. The heels move away from each other, and then we're going to cross them over so they come across each other. And then what we do is we take them out to the side again, and then we cross the other side. Okay, so off you go. Make sure that you go as wide with the heels as you can. So not too fast. You can go fast, but I quite like to do it slow. So you choose. You notice how children do this naturally. Okay, and come to a stop. Bring those legs back down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders and push back onto the heels. A nice stretchy child's pose here. As you bring the bottom onto the heels, the arms will get a good stretch. Let's rise up onto all fours. Bring the knees to the long edge of your mat. Swing those legs around. And let's spleen triple warmer hold and tuck in those bandhas and down we come. Walk the heels in towards the bottom, hip width apart. Bring the arms down beside your body. Right, we're going to tuck the belly button into the floor. We're going to rise up into our half bridge, no arms. And then once we get here, we're going to bring the left leg straight, thighs in line. And we're going to hold this position and feel how much stronger that makes that right side of the body, the legs, the glutes. Keep the hips nice and high and you'll really feel it. Hamstring. Bring that foot to the floor and then come all the way down. And we'll go up for the other side. So half bridge up. Right leg, thighs match. Make sure the hips are nice and high. Feel the strength in its left leg. You can push the heel or the toes away, it doesn't really matter. It's the left side of the body we're working on. So always experiment with these poses. Just see how you can take them sort of deeper. Foot to the floor, and come all the way down. A nice hug of the knees just to stretch out through the back of those legs. Okay, slide these feet so the legs go straight, arms just away from the body. We're going to take the left heel and we're going to drag it in towards the bottom. Drag it out towards the left arm, drop the knee into the center of your mat. Keep pushing down with that knee. Always have the breath in the belly once you're settled and into a position. Bring the knee back up, drag the foot in, and then straighten the leg out. Relax the legs. Let's do that again. Keep the knee pushed into the floor. Breath in the belly. And the knee back up. And legs straight and relax. One more. You can do lots more if you're doing this at home on demand. So stop the video and just do, well, anything up to 10 to be honest. Right, bring the knee back up. And let's release and relax that leg. 3 on the side, so right leg. Let's go for that. Drop that knee in. Bring the knee back up. And straighten that leg and relax. And again. So the idea is it's a drag and not a lift. We're trying to work into the nervous system and not the muscles. Until we obviously get to the stretch. Okay, just drag that back in. And relax. Final one. Let's bring that knee up. And the leg straight and relax. Okay, just bring the hands down beside the body. Walk the feet in. Up into half bridge. Anchoring with the right leg and bring the left leg back into that last position we did. Foot to the floor, come all the way down. And up to the other side. Right leg lifts up. Foot to the floor, come all the way down. One more hug of the knees. And we can go from side to side on that lower back if you'd like to. And a full body stretch before we come to relax. Use your block if you wish. If you've got a bolster, you can use that as well. Beautiful. And then find your way to relaxation. If you need to stretch out any more of the body, then please do. So having space between your heels, arms out to the side with the palms facing up, closing the eyes. Releasing yourself from that Ujjayi breath if you've been using that. Just allow the breath to settle. So we've opened our heart during our practice. And when we do, it helps to release the grief. And then we can let the joy back in. So bring your attention to the soles of your feet. Let the soles of your feet grow roots. Take those roots through the floor, through the earth's crust, to the layers of rock, to the center of the earth. Now, the earth is always prepared to take back what you no longer need. So on your out breath, just let go of anything that may have come up during this time. Just let it go through the roots. Could be a word, could be a feeling. And give it back to the earth. She's recycling emotions all the time. And you know she doesn't mind. It could just be an anxious feeling. Whatever it is. Just use your out breath to let it go down the roots. Down, down, down. Really so far down. It's not coming back. And then we need to change focus to the in-breath. What we would like to draw up the roots from the earth. Everything is there for you to have. It may just be pure joy. It may be something more specific to place into the vacuum you just brought because you've let go of something. So bring something positive into that space. And then feel it being absorbed by the whole of your body, into every cell from the top of your head to your fingertips to your toes. You are what you draw back in. Positive. And as you bring the positive in, if there's more that needs to go, that pops up, you can do that on the outgoing breath. And the breath just relaxed. As it comes and goes, do the work. And now, just basking in the feeling that you have brought into the body. Now, a moment here to thank Mother Earth for the exchange that's taken place. Draw back up your roots into the soles of your feet now. You can use them anytime. In time, you'll let something go and draw something better in. So holding on to this new feeling as you go about your days. Let's bring some movement into our body, into the hands, the feet, arms and the legs. Movement into the rest of the body. Bending the knees, rolling onto the right side, hands under the head for a pillow. Again, feel into that positivity you've just drawn in. Keeping it with you. Pushing up to seated, hands at the heart. Namaste. And opening your eyes when you're ready.